Hey everybody, here we are. So this is one of the most important chapters in Math 9. It's the equations unit. And you're going to be solving a variety of equations that look like this. And these are the easy ones. So let's just look at the first one here. Now, back in the day when you were in grade 7, you had to solve things that looked like this. 2x equals 10. And then we always asked you, okay, so this is 2 times x equals 10. So you always had to ask yourself, okay, well, if I'm going to cancel this multiplication, I need to do the opposite to it. Because if you apply division to something that's being multiplied, it disappears. You've canceled it. So what you do is you draw a line, and then this entire side you divide by 2, you divide this by 2, and we're left with, those are gone, and I have x equals, and then all I have to do is, well, 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. And that's my answer. So does 2 times 5 equal 10? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's an easy one. Next thing we're going to do is look at this question we have here and see what we can... Let me get rid of this stuff. Okay, so this one right here is saying 2 times something equals 3/4. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is apply the same procedure. Draw a line through the equal sign. And this is 2 times x equals 3/4. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. And then we get x equals, whatever the answer is when we divide 3/4 by 2. So how do we divide fractions? We got to think back to grade 8. So this is 3/4 divided by 2. So for division of fractions, we write the number over 1. So now we're dealing with two fractions, 3/4 divided by 2 over 1. And then we kiss and flip. So it becomes 3/4, don't touch the first one, times the second fraction inverted. So it becomes 1 over 2. And then for fractions, when we're multiplying, we multiply the top by the top, bottom by the bottom, and reduce. So I'm going to get 3 over 4 times 2 is 8. So my answer is x equals 3/8. And there we go. So that's the first example. So for this next one, we have m divided by 3 equals -2/5. Alright, so I know I'm going to have to cancel this division by 3. So to cancel division, we need to multiply both sides by 3. So I'm going to draw a line down, and we're just going to write times 3 on one side and times 3 on the other. So what happened is these 3's are gone now from this side. So we're just left with m. And over here we have -2/5 times 3. So on this side, we just have m now. And on the other side, we have -2 over 5 times 3. And I'm going to write it over 1 so we can solve it. Once you have fractions written like this and you're multiplying them, all you do is go top by top, bottom by bottom, and reduce. So I get m equals -2 times 3 is -6, and 5 times 1 is 5. going one step further, because we want to make sure that our answer is not written as an improper fraction, we're just going to change this to a mixed number. So how many times does 5 go into 6? Once. And how many are left over? There will be a remainder of 1. So our answer is negative 1 and 1/5. So our answer to this equation, what do I divide by 3 to get negative 2/5? The answer is negative 1 and 1/5. For the last one here, we've got two mixed numbers. Let's take a look. So we've got negative 2.5 times k equals negative 3.5. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2.5. And that will isolate the variable and give us our answer. So it's going to look like this. We've got divide both sides by negative 2.5. Divide both sides by negative 2.5. And on the left, our negative 2.5 is now gone. I'm just left with k. And on the right, we have negative 3.5 divided by negative 2.5. So how do we divide mixed numbers? So you got to think back to last year. What we do is write them as improper. So I'm going to go 3 times 2 plus 1 for this first one. And I'm going to get negative 7/2. And this is divided by the whole number, or the big number, 2 times the bottom. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, so I'm going to have negative 5/2. When we're dividing fractions, we need to apply the kiss and flip. And so I'm going to leave this one alone. I'm going to change this to multiplication and flip this one. Now, where does the negative go? It doesn't matter. I recommend keeping it in the top. When you flip this over, you're going to have negative 5 goes to the bottom and 2 comes to the top. You can rewrite the negative with the 2. It doesn't matter in math where the negative goes, either on the top or on the bottom or out front like this. So basically it'll look like this. Negative 7/2 times negative 2/5, because I flipped that one. And then we just go top by top, bottom by bottom. So you got to remember your integer rules. When I have a negative multiplied by a negative, it turns positive. So this is going to be positive 14 over 2 times 5 is 10. So my answer after all that is going to be k equals 14/10. Write it as, we can reduce it. So it's going to be 7/5. And one last step, don't leave it improper. Change it to a mixed number. How many times does 5 go into 7? Once. And our remainder is 2. So the answer is 1 2/5. And that is how you do one-step equations with fractions.